this morning. Welcome to all the court members, elected officials. Good to have you all here today. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs, Master Berger.
Here.
Master Tudor. Here. Master Botkin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, Master Barger is going to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we ask for your guidance as we conduct this meeting of the county court. Father, we ask that you bless the ones that are not here, that wasn't able to be here, and bless the ones that we have here that's concerned about what's going on in their county. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Ross. Sheriff, if you will, please and pledge.
If everyone will please stand, place their flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, go. Next is approval of the minutes of our previous fiscal court meeting that was held on February the 11th, 2020, right here in the Madison County Fiscal Courtroom. Do I have a motion and a second to approve these minutes?
Judge, I'd like to amend the minutes with a correction.
Okay.
On the item number 2007, it was stated that there had been a lot of maintenance on the Phipps Spur Road. It should state there has not been a lot of maintenance on the Phipps Spur Road in the past several years.
Okay, let me read it here real quick so I can mark it. It's not, I got you. It's not been a lot of maintenance. Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
All right. If the court agrees with that change, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion at this time? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Berger.
Yes.
Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Botkin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks, John. Appreciate that, Kate. Next, treasurer's report. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. You have the treasurer's report in your Dropbox, and if the public would like to have a copy, we have those available at the finance office. As of January 31st, 2020, we have a total fund balance of $9,450,969.31. As of 1/31/20, our general fund has received 73.4% of its revenues for the year. Our expenditures are at 49.6.
Say it again, Glenn. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. And for this time of year, it should be around 58%. General fund revenues are at 73.4%. Our expenditures are at 49.6%.
Okay.
Our road fund revenues are at 76.1%. Our expenditures are at 49.6%. Our jail fund revenues are at 50.5%, and our expenditures are at 62.3%. Excuse me. Our LGA fund, our revenues are at 59%. Our expenditures, we haven't expended anything, 0. CSEP fund, our revenues are at 8.3% of their total budget. Their expenditures are at 8.4%. 911 fund, our revenues are at 56.9%. Our expenditures are at 44.4%. Our health fund, our revenues are at 61%. Our expenditures are at 36.7%. Excuse me. We just made the last budgeted transfer from the general fund to the jail fund that I just made for today. So any other funds that we need will have to come out of our investments from this point on to make it through the rest of the year. I do know that some of our numbers have been down, but it takes a while for that to trickle down to our bills and stuff, so we haven't seen that effect yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you project that over the rest of this fiscal year that our expenditures are going to be less than, or I mean, our revenues are going to be less than expenditures
For the jail
for
fund?
the jail fund?
Whenever we bring in from our investments, that will come in as a revenue in there, so it will bring that number up, but we're going to have to take it from investments.
Okay.
So it will bring that percentage up, but you're taking it out of your
Yeah,
investments.
but I don't mean they're taking it out of the investments.
No, I do not think that our
I think
revenues
we've
will
got a
increase.
budget meeting coming up.
Yes, we have one
So
tomorrow.
let's let's make this first discussion point on the jail budget
Yes.
to see if we can project a way that we can figure this out. All right?
I know our overtime in our jail budget and stuff has been really high.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Glenn. Sorry, guys, is there any questions? Sorry, did y'all have any questions for Glenn? All right, you good? All right. Thanks, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Next is Children's Champion Proclamation. Wonderful Phyllis Adams is here, so Phyllis, if you want to make your way up to the mic, and I'll go ahead and start off by reading the proclamation. Whereas Madison County values every child and family, and whereas citizens need to care for children and support children's issues, programs, and activities, and whereas organizations, businesses, hospitals, schools, churches, and service agencies should join forces to promote public awareness of keeping children drug and alcohol free, and whereas citizens throughout Madison County need to collaborate to ensure that every child has the type of environment at home, at school, at child care, and in the community that will promote healthy development and appropriate learning opportunities. And whereas our county is willing to demonstrate that children are our most important asset. And now therefore I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim March 2020 as be a Children's Champion Month in support of the Children's Champions of Madison County. Thanks, Phyllis, for being here.
Thank you, and I want to thank the Fiscal Court for always being supportive of Children's Champions Month and promoting the idea that adults need to do everything that they can to protect children and also to provide positive learning experiences for them. This is not just for teachers, but this is for all adults in the community. One of the main things that we do for Children's Champions Month is to have our billboard contest, and our winner this year was from Berea community. The billboard is actually up. There's one here next to the railroad tracks, and also one next to Kroger's, and then one on the way to Berea. It's Aim High, Be a Children's Champion, and it's a very, very, very good board for this year. We appreciate all of the participation by the schools for the selection of the billboard. And also, we have a number of collaborations on activities for the month. I've distributed the Children's Champions March activities, but some of the community events that I would like to highlight is the school staff appreciation on March the 17th at Lee's, and the Family Bowling Day on March the 15th at Galaxy Bowling. There's the Kent Family Circus at Berea at the Acton Folk Center on the 14th. The Richmond Parks has started story time at Camp Catalpa, and that's going to be on March the 25th. So there's a number of community activities in addition to the school activities, but the big thing is the collaboration of a lot of people. Our biggest event is going to be our Kids Mall Madness, which is March the 21st at the mall, when there's a number of folks that will be involved to make that a successful time for our kids from 10 to 1 at the Richmond Mall. And lastly, in addition to thanking again the Fiscal Court, I want to thank our law enforcement folks for everything that they do to protect our kids, because their job is tough and there's a lot of bad things going on with kids, and we really appreciate that very much. Thank you, and thank all of you for being a children's champion.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Phyllis, you like to get a picture?
Oh.
Are you sure? Hey, remember, it's for the kids. It ain't for you, Phyllis, it's for the kids.
And it's going in the paper.
Guys, y'all
More
wanna stand up
advertising.
here behind?
Sure.
Sure. Steve? Get on your legs if everybody can get in there. Is that all right?
I'm just gonna put the chair.
One, two, three. Okay.
Thank you, dear. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Next is a retirement recognition in the fire department. So I would invite Mr. Stephen Brock. I'm gonna be formal since this certificate's formal, AKA Stevie, right? Yeah. It's good to see you, man. So a certificate of retirement, Stephen Brock, Madison County Fire Department, has been recognized for outstanding achievement and having served faithfully and honorably with dedication to the safety of the citizens of Madison County for 20-plus years. This recognition is hereby awarded this 25th day of February 2020 by the Madison County Fiscal Court. Yeah. So let's do it again, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So, Rachel, you gonna do it? Here, let me get it.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Right.
Okay, look at me. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Hey, I'm not quite done. I want to say a few things about Stevie because I think that in society and the workforce alone, that if we had employees more like Stevie Brock, we wouldn't have a lot of the issues with employment that we do. Stevie's an outstanding person. He's an outstanding employee, and you will be missed. And you know, he loves county government. It's obvious because he works hard at the fire department on his days off. Over the past several years, he's come to the road department and helped Scott and Willie and Matt with whatever needs to be done. He's not one of these guys that has to do one thing. I mean, he'd drive the dead animal wagon. He'd mow at the parks. I mean, whatever. He'd go pick up larger items. It didn't matter. And so, Stevie, we appreciate your leadership in this community, being a lifelong Madison County, and wish you the best. And look forward to seeing you again, okay? Yep, thanks, Steve. Guys, would y'all like to say anything at this time before we move on?
I just would like to say I appreciate, Steve, all that you've done for the fire department and for the county, and know that you'll continue to work for the county in some way or form, even in civilian life, or if we call it civilian life, whatever. But thank you so much.
Hey, and Rachel, you might get a picture of him and Chief after it's over, just FYI. Okay, thanks. Okay, next is second reading of ordinance 2003, courthouse renovation funding. An ordinance of the County of Madison, Kentucky, authorizing the issuance of its County of Madison, Kentucky General Obligation Note, Series 2020N-1, in a maximum aggregate principal amount of $6 million. Subject to a permitted adjustment increasing the principal amount of the note by up to $600,000 or decreasing the principal amount of the note by any amount for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of the acquisition, construction, equipping, and installation of a capital improvements to certain county facilities, approving the form of the note, authorizing designated officers to execute and deliver the note, authorizing and directing the filing of a notice with the state local debt officer, providing for the payment and security of the note, creating a note payment fund, reaffirming and continuing the previously established sinking fund, authorizing acceptance of the winning bid of the purchaser for the purchase of the note, authorizing the execution and delivery of a note purchase agreement with the purchaser of the note, and repealing inconsistent ordinances. If I have a motion and a second on ordinance 2003, I need that now, thanks.
So move.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. I do want to make one statement because it doesn't really spell that out in the summary. This is on the Madison County Courthouse project that we're doing, so with the AOC.
Also, this isn't costing us anything, it's just when we make a note.
Yeah, all this will be reimbursed back by the administrative office of the court, yes.
Right.
Yep, this is not anything out of our local tax dollar revenues.
Right.
Yep, that's right. Any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 2004. This is a budget amendment on the road fund. Good morning again.
Good morning. This is the second reading of the ordinance for the road fund budget amendment. An ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas Madison County, Kentucky has realized unbudgeted receipts, be it ordained by Madison County of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The budget for the current fiscal year is amended to increase the receipts of the following fund, which is the road fund, transportation cabinet, account number 024514 by $383,175, and that will go into the reserve for transfers.
And this is reimbursement, right, Glenn?
This is where we brought in more money into the budget than we had anticipated, than we had budgeted
Okay.
for.
But it is, but yes, it is part
Basically,
of some of reimbursements
Right, from
from
the
Yes,
state.
projects
yes,
that
yes.
we've done, yes.
That's what it
Yeah.
came from.
But it was kinda crossing over two different fiscal years.
Where you do work a lot of times in one year and you get reimbursed in the next
Next
year.
year. Okay.
Sometimes it takes longer for the reimbursement and you don't have it budgeted in.
Correct.
Thank you, Glenn. Do I have a first, or do I have a motion and a second on second reading of ordinance 2004 budget amendment road fund?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion at this time? Is there any comments from the audience at this time? Second readings of ordinances do have to be published in the, in an advertisement, so all that was done. And there's always a second reading for public comment, time for public comment, so that would be appropriate at this time. All right, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Burger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys. Next is second reading of ordinance 2005. This is a budget amendment for the jail fund. Glenn?
Yes. An ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas Madison County, Kentucky has realized unbudgeted receipts, be it ordained by Madison County of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The budget for the current fiscal year is amended to increase the jail budget into account 034901 surplus from prior years, $302,484 that will go into the appropriation line item reserved for transfer.
Judge, I'd go ahead and make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2005, the budget amendment for the jail fund.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion here? Yeah. Is there any public comment? Again, the same thing goes for this ordinance. It is a second reading. It's been advertised. So it would be appropriate to have public comment at this time. Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Burger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it. Next is second reading of ordinance 2006. This is an interlocal agreement between Madison County Fire Department and Madison County EMS. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. Is an ordinance authorizing signature of interlocal agreement for rescue and extrication services between Madison County Fiscal Court and Madison County EMS. Whereas Madison County EMS requires rescue and extrication services to perform their role as first responders. And whereas in accordance to 202 KAR 7550 EMS may execute an agreement with a subcontractor for extrication. And whereas the Madison County EMS wishes to secure Madison County Fire Department for rescue and extrication services. And whereas this interlocal agreement is entered into for the mutual benefit of the parties and is specifically authorized by an interlocal corporation act set forth by KRS 65.210. Now therefore it be ordained by the Fiscal Court of Madison County, Commonwealth of Kentucky, authorizes the judge executive to enter into the attached interlocal agreement with Madison County EMS.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
At this time, do I have a motion to second for ordinance 2006?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to second. Is there any discussion at this time, guys? I know we have our EMS Director, Carlos Cole, here today.
Carlos, I guess, are you comfortable with the fire department doing that service for you?
And as much as we enjoy having you here, I'm sure you're here because of this today. Yeah, we love you being here. So, and I'm excited about the future and the opportunity here. I really am, Chief. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate your relationship with Carlos. And we have been doing this. You know, this is not like we haven't really been helping out and doing this for some time now. So I think this will be really good in the long run for the community and for everybody. So, all right. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Burger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate it. Next is second reading of ordinance 2007. This is the discontinuance of Phelps Spur Road. Good morning, Willie.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Judge, did you apply for public comment on that last one? I think you
Sorry, is there any public comment at this time on the interlocal between Madison County EMS and Madison County Fire Department?
just making sure.
Counselor, there's nobody, so I thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Keep him in line.
Thank you.
Just don't want him to say after the fact you didn't let.
Good work. That's why you get paid the big bucks, right? Huh? Yeah.
Brooke actually called it, so
Yeah.
I was.
That's, you shouldn't have brought her name up, because now people are gonna think it takes two of y'all to keep her alive,
To keep.
Yeah. Next, this is, again, going back, this is discontinuance of Phelps Spur Road. This is, ordinance 2007, and this is also the second reading. So, Willie?
Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the maintenance of Madison County roadways, and whereas a citizen and property owner on Phelps Spur Road has requested the road be removed from the county road system, and whereas KRS 178.070 outlines the process the county used for discontinuance of a county roadway. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that Phelps Spur Road shall be discontinued.
Yeah, thank you, Willie. Also, I want to make note that we have one of our road commissioners here today, and there is a process in the KRS that we go through to do this, and it actually comes from the road commissioners going out and reviewing.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so we have one of our road commissioners here today as part of that whole process and recommendation.
Yes, sir. Mr. Parsons is present. Both road commissioners viewed the road with myself, and we're all in agreement with the wishes of the two property owners involved.
And that also, and that's good, because there's two property owners, two citizens that actually sort of engaged this with John.
We've had no opposition, so I recommend that we.
Yeah, all of our signs went up and all that,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's good. All right. So do I have a motion and a second for second reading of ordinance 2007, discontinuance of Phelps Spur Road?
Judge, I'd like to make a motion, we approve 2007 discontinuance of Phelps Spur Road.
Okay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion from the court? Seeing none, at this time, is there any audience? Seeing none at this time, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bakken?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes,
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 8, guys, I'm sorry, I marked it out on your agendas, the first reading of ordinance 2008. There's a couple things that came up on that last minute, and so we're gonna have to actually postpone that once again. I do apologize, but it was sort of last minute working with our legal team and our IT team, that we need to sort of restructure that a little bit better. So, and that was number 8 on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 2008. That was the MetroNet franchise agreement. Moving on to Burt, number 9, first reading of ordinance 2009, zone change 1650 Brier Road from UC1 residential to UC4 general commercial.
An ordinance of the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, approving the zone change of 1650 Brier Road, Richmond, Kentucky, and authorizing the amendment of the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. As the judge said, this is from UC1 residential to UC4 general commercial.
And if you don't mind too, Bert, just to make everybody aware of the finding of fact,
So
could
finding-
you also read the finding of fact
Sure.
too, please?
Finds of fact were that the existing zoning classification is inappropriate and the proposed zoning classification is appropriate for the following reasons. The changes made to the character and area of the property due to the condemnation action make UC1 a non-viable use of this property. The character of the surrounding area and this property are more suitable for general commercial purposes, as the subject property is within the urban corridor and surrounded in close proximity to other properties used for general commercial purposes. So this property is Brier Road, 25 South, just
well,
south
that's
of
what I was gonna
Duncan.
ask. Okay.
Yeah, so the state took about half this lot for right-of-way for the widening of 25. It's left a substandard lot anyway.
Right.
The applicant owns property adjacent to this property. This will give him the opportunity to develop that as part of that if he chooses to do so. I don't think he has any immediate plans to do that, but it's not really.
It all sits right there on the corner of Duncan and 25, right?
Yeah,
The
they
gas
just took down a
station.
just took down a metal building right before it, and actually just took down a house that was on this property.
Okay.
Donald Williams, brick house.
Bert, didn't we already,
We have,
vote to change, property right next to that?
we have, it's not right next
It's
to it, but it's in
couple
that
of-
same general area, yeah.
It's all right there, signing around the Okanite.
Right, that curve,
and, electro dryer sits in behind the concrete
That's right.
plant. Yeah, it's appropriate. All right, thanks, guys. Do I have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance 2009 zone change at 1650 Brier Road from UC1 residential to UC4 general commercial?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Bakken?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Bert. Appreciate it. Next is the resolution 2014. This is a transportation agreement on US bike route USBR 21. This is a signage project. A resolution authorizing the Madison County Fiscal Court to enter into an agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for new bike route signage. Guys, if you all remember back, we actually were going for a TAP grant on this same project, and this is a project that is part of I can't remember exactly how many counties, but there's a bunch of counties in Kentucky. They're all part of this, and we agreed to be the applicant agent of this project. Each county is going to be responsible for their own signage. It's part of the Boone's Trace trail, right? Which was the original road that Daniel Boone, and it ended at Boonesboro. It comes in at Boone Gap, down on the Route Castle Madison line for Madison County's portion, and it ends at Fort Boonesboro. And so this funding now is no longer coming from the TAP grant. It's actually discretionary funds through Transportation Cabinet. And now there is no match that we have to match. That's even better. We did have a little bit of a match before. So this is just allowing us and allowing me to sign the agreement with the Transportation Cabinet and move on this project. I think everybody's pretty familiar with it. Yeah. Okay.
10 counties involved.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I can't remember exactly how many there is.
It's Bell, Knox, Laurel, Rockcastle, Clark, Bourbon, Nicholas, Robertson, Mason, and us.
That's it. Yeah.
This project's been going on for a number of years.
It has been, yeah. And just to know, Boone's Trace sort of piggybacked on the federal trail, the 21, the bike route 21, which actually goes from Florida to Cleveland. And so it allowed them to tap into a revenue stream quicker by sort of following that same path for Boone's Trace, and it being sort of the same, for the same purpose. So, if you all agree in resolution 2014, transportation agreement, US bike route, USBR 21, signage project, I need a motion and a second, please.
Judge, I move we enter into the 2014 transportation agreement with the US bike route and the transportation department.
Second.
Thanks, guys. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bakken?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is resolution 2015. This is an EMS board appointment. A resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County EMS Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County EMS Board members, and whereas a vacancy on the EMS Board is open, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Randy Rigsby as fit for the position as chairman of the Madison County EMS Board of Directors. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Randy Rigsby as Madison County EMS Board member. Randy is a reappointment. He has served for many, many years and has always done a really good job there. And we do have a really good EMS board. So, and he does chair that as of right now. Is that correct, Carlos? Yep. He does chair that at the time, at the moment. If y'all approve in affirming that Randy Rigsby stays on the Madison County EMS board in resolution 2015, I need a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bakken?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Resolution 2016. It's another EMS Board appointment. A resolution for the appointment of Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County EMS Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County EMS Board members, and whereas a vacancy on the EMS Board is open, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Dr. Glenn Burkett as fit for the position as Vice Chairman of the Madison County EMS Board of Directors. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve Dr. Glenn Burkett as Madison County EMS Board member. At this time, do I have a motion and second to approve Resolution 2016?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, and it sounds like a third.
There you go.
And a fourth.
Any other questions or discussions? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Carlos. And Roger sits on that for the court. He goes to all those meetings, so thank them for their service when you guys go to the next board meeting. Appreciate their willing to serve. Next is personnel and golf course.
Good morning. I'm here to ask for your approval to hire Jacob Fritz as a seasonal pro shop attendant at $8.25 an hour starting March 1st. This will be his second year. He's a student at EKU, so he couldn't be here today.
Judge, motion to approve Jacob Fritz as the golf shop attendant starting March the 1st, $8.25 an hour.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. Next is personnel. This is firefighter hirees. Good morning, Chief.
Morning. First one I've got, actually, we did interviews on these. We had Captain Braden French, Captain Herb Lutford, and Lieutenant Greg Cox sit in on the interview board along with Rachel. The first one I got is Chandler Clark. Chandler's with us. If you don't care to stand up, Chandler. He'll start on 3/11/2020 at $7.50 an hour, and Chandler will work a 8 to 10 week training program till he gets his hours, and he'll go on shift.
And that's typically eight
Yeah.
8 hours a day for 5 days a week, right?
5
Monday
days a
through
week,
Friday.
8 hours a day.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to hire Chandler Clark for the fire department, firefighter 1.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on hiring Chandler Clark as a firefighter 1, salary $7.50 an hour, and it'll be going through the 8 to 10 week training program. Is there any further discussion, guys? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Chandler. Appreciate you being here.
The second one, same interview committee, be Levi Taylor, be starting on 3/11/2020. Levi's with us at $7.50 an hour. Again, he'll be doing 8 to 10 week course, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day.
If y'all approve in the hire of Levi Taylor as a firefighter 1, $7.50 an hour, and be going through the 8 to 10 week training program before he goes on shift, I need a motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
And the third one will be a Cameron Arnold. Cameron also will start on 3/11/2020 as a firefighter 1, $7.50 an hour. And he'll be on a 8 to 10 week training program also, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
If y'all approve the recommendation of the chief, I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Chief, you're gonna have to get these guys some firefighting uniforms. They're dressed in suit and tie
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
They look nice for court. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Call the roll.
Master Barker?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief. Thanks, guys. Make sure you show up on time. All right. Don't be late. All right, next is judge's report. Just a few announcements today. Don't forget, daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. on Sunday, March the 8th. So we've got approximately another week and a half. But remember, March 8th is daylight savings time. Be sure to set your clocks forward 1 hour on Saturday, March 7th. There will be a tips to survive an active shooter situation at any age or any disability seminar on Tuesday, March the 3rd, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Madison County Library's Berea location on Chestnut Street. Seating is limited. If you do want to go and want to reserve a spot, please call 986-6869. Again, that is 986-6869. There will be a Transformational Employment Summit on Thursday, March 12th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Madison County Extension Office on Duncannon Lane. Reservations may be made by calling the Richmond Chamber of Commerce at 623-1720. There will be a conversation about combating the opioid crisis featuring the movie Beautiful Boy on Thursday, March 19th from 5 until 8:30 p.m. at the EKU Center for the Arts. This event is for mature audiences. Please reserve your spot by Thursday, March 12th by contacting the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. This is an event that I would encourage everybody to go to because this is a serious situation in our community, a serious situation, and it affects everybody. This drug epidemic does not discriminate whatsoever. So I would encourage everybody to be at this on March 19th from 5 until 8:30 p.m. at the EKU Center for the Arts. And again, if you need to reserve your spot, call the Richmond Chamber of Commerce before Thursday, March the 12th for that reservation.
Give us the date one more time.
The date is March 19th from 5 until 8:30 p.m. And the movie that they're going to be viewing there is The Beautiful Boy. I mean, that's not the only reason you're going to be there. I mean, there's going to be speakers and all that kind of stuff. So, okay. I do want to bring awareness to districts basketball. Our local high school teams are all competing in that last night or today. Model and Berea is tonight, and Southern and Central was last night. Madison Central won last night in the girls and boys. But man, I'm telling you that I watched the game. That was a great game last night between Southern and Central. Man, it was back and forth. Southern led the whole way. I was proud of them. Central never gave up and came back at the end, but it was really a good game. But Berea and Model play tonight, and then the championship of our district will be Friday night if anybody wants to go. So they did good. Comments from magistrates? Tom?
I don't have a lot today, Judge, just to say that we went this past Thursday up to the legislative day at Keiko, and then all of us were there for that. And then later on in the afternoon, we had appointments with Travis Brenda, Deanna Frazier, and with Senator Carpenter, and we went up and talked to them about some of the House bills and Senate bills that were of interest to us. Of course, you know, the one that everybody was interested in that day, which we were also, was House Bill 136. That was the bill for medical marijuana. And, you know, there were some things that happened in that bill that I wished would have not have happened. But, I mean, they approved it through the House with a stipulation that you can opt out at the county level. You know, I'm not sure why they did that. I know why they did it, but I wish they hadn't have done that. But at any rate, if that makes that through the Senate, then of course, once again, we're gonna have our hands full because that's a tough issue. You know, Roger, we're on both sides of it. We've seen both sides of it. You know, if you've got loved ones that are suffering and that's something that can help you, you know, you're on top of that. But if you're on the other side of it and you know that can be possibly a gateway to other things, then, I mean, that's just a tough issue. So, I want to keep us in our prayers for that, and also keep Magistrate Combs in your prayers. He's not here with us today, and we hope he gets better soon and gets back to see us.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
I just
John?
want to continue a little bit on what Tom was talking about there. We did meet with the legislators, and there was a amendment to that the counties could opt out of the medical marijuana bill. I don't see that that can really be effective where a county on one side of the river is accepting medical marijuana, and then on the other side of the river you have control that it's not legal. So I think it's gonna have to be statewide, whatever they do with that bill. I know it went to the Senate. I don't think they got a vote on that yesterday, did they, Tom?
I don't think so.
But it will be voted on this session. I know it will help a lot of people with a lot of illness, but the biggest issue is control of it. And it is not going to be a smokable medicine. It's going to be pill only on that one. So that may keep some of the misuse down somewhat. Just want to also mention that I guess all of our magistrates, judge is going to be going to Lexington the 4th, 5th, and 6th for the CACO conference over at Lexington.
Magistrate conference.
Magistrate conference,
Magistrate
excuse
conference,
me.
yeah.
CACO's
Sorry.
putting it on there. It's magistrate.
Well, they help, I think,
Okay.
but
All
it's a
right.
magistrate conference.
But we will.
JC will get mad at you.
He
if
will?
Keiko comes.
Okay. But we're I was supposed to take a couple pairs of shoes, and they donate those shoes to needy counties that the children don't have shoes in school. So I think they collected something like 400 or 500 pairs of shoes last year. So we're all going to come in carrying a pair of shoes to the conference. So that's a good issue. One other thing that some of our local churches have been conducting Room in the Inn. It's a program for homeless individuals here in Madison County and Richmond area, and the churches rotate one night a week, and they host up to 12 homeless individuals. They feed them dinner, they give them a place to shower, clean up, provide sleeping place for them, feed them breakfast the next morning, and then give them a sack lunch to go back out the next day, and that's been working real well. I know our church has been involved with that. I'm going to help with that again tomorrow night. So that's something that I think was needed. There's a lot of homeless people here in Richmond, Madison County, and any way we can help some of those individuals. Some of them are just on hard times. I mean, you look at them and you say, well, you know, they brought some of this on themselves. No, not really. If you talk with them, they're individuals that had jobs, had homes, just like you and I did, and they're down on their luck right now, and they need a little extra help, and I'm glad to be a part of that. That's all I got to do.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Raj?
Just to touch on the shoe part of the conference that we have, the gentleman that gets up and speaks about it, he tells that every year there's a certain number of those kids that when they get those shoes, they ask if they can keep them. They don't think they think they're just trying them on. So just to see their faces and the films that they show of it, it's unbelievable how tickled they are to get a pair of shoes. You know. But it's a good thing. Sorry, I got clogged up. Tom mentioned that we went up to the conference. I want to thank Tom for arranging that we got to meet with their representatives, because we spent more time with them this time than I ever have been able to spend with them, and that's good. Usually it's rush in and out because they got 10 more people waiting, you know, behind you, but they took the time to talk to us, and like I said, longer than I've ever been there, and I appreciated that.
Yeah,
I've
I'm going to add to that just real quick, Roger. We got to see 4 of our 6, which is the most that we've ever gotten to see at one time.
That's an audit from the Valley View Ferry.
Okay.
It's always been a clean audit.
Yeah.
Don't expect that to be any different. And, they may find something wrong, but it's never major that can be corrected.
Sure.
If I can get through this with my throat. This is just some numbers from the ferry that was sent to me by the bookkeeper. 2013, we carried 80,386 vehicles across the ferry. And that was 127,172 people in those cars.
Wow.
And we were closed 64 days that year. Now you go down here to 2019, we only carried 51,000 vehicles, carried 84,000 passengers, but we were closed 109 days. And that being because the bridge was out on Tate Street. And people just didn't even try to cross. You could have still went around and crossed the ferry, but it was useless for them to do that. So the other big thing here that my bookkeeper just notified us of, but we'll adjust to it and make it. But before, they've always paid us for half days for a certain number of days that were closed to state. I'm talking about the state pays us. They've limited that to 20 full days now. After that, we're on our own. So that's actually like 4 half days that we've been getting, 40 half days that we've been getting. So I think we'll still be all right, but you take like that 109 days down there, that's why I'm bringing that up, that 109 days, and we're only gonna get paid for 20, you know, that could hurt. But that probably is not gonna happen, you know, I mean, unless a bridge goes out or something, you know. That's all I got, Jerry.
Thanks, buddy. Kenny?
That's good.
Council? Good? Good? All right. Thanks, guys. Next is department heads. Any department heads need to address the court today? Seeing none. Comments from the audience? Anybody in the audience? All right, seeing none. I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Backus?
Yes.
Mr. Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next meeting is March 10th, 2020. Please note that the agenda that we actually posted out said Richmond, but it is not Richmond. It's our first meeting of every odd month is always held in Berea. So I've changed it on today's agendas. I marked out Richmond and wrote in Berea. But just make note that our next meeting is March 10th, 2020, and that will be in Berea because that's our first meeting of every odd month. All right? I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Master Backus?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys. Good to see everybody.